one thing that is true is California's on fire, and we are very significantly as human beings responsible for it. You know, the story is a little bit hard for me for several different reasons. One is it's a terrible thing that's happening in California. There's so much damage, and 10 people die, and lots of damage. And there's nothing positive to say about it. But to fret and twist your arm and to wring your hands over this is totally legit. And yet, compared to what we're doing to Gaza, it's nothing, right? So that's the thing. I don't want to equate. But this is really, really, really bad, nevertheless. And you don't have to equate. And they can be two really terrible things with, in some ways, very different causes, and in some ways, very similar causes. Human greed, selfishness, and unwillingness to change behavioral patterns. So it says 10 dead. I got to believe it's more when you look at the amount of damage there. First, I'm going to talk just personally, a couple of areas that, I think the last time I was in Los Angeles, I may be wrong. I believe it was 2011. I believe the last time I was in LA. And I actually reached out to somebody I saw in LA, and I have not heard back from them, so I'm hoping they're okay. But I'm sure they are. I don't know if they're in LA, actually. But I wanted to just show pictures of a couple of areas that I remembered from that trip, because I was actually in the exact area, which is Pacific Palisades, kind of along the coast, north of Manhattan Beach and north of Santa Monica. So that's the Will Rogers Ranch house. A lot of trees still standing there, but the house itself was burned to the ground. And yeah, I was on the Will Rogers State Park, which is very, very nice. So I was thinking about that because I knew that was in Palisades, just above Sunset as you're heading down towards the Pacific. It's really, really beautiful area, and you get a beautiful view of the whole LA basin from that park there, the Will Rogers State Park. So that house was destroyed. I was glad to see, frankly, that a lot of the trees are still standing. Another area in LA that I really remembered and thought was quite beautiful there, that's the Getty Villa, and in better days. That is it's not even exactly a replica. It's largely an authentic. Many of you have probably visited or know of it. But J. Paul Getty was taken by this villa that I guess may have been subsumed, and I could be wrong, in the Vesuvius explosion at Pompeii. And he sent, the guy was like the first billionaire, I guess, or one of the first after Rockefeller. He sent a team of architects and experts, and they were able to, I guess, legally, with the help of the Italian government, and they spent a lot of money, and they brought back basically many, many artifacts from the Vesuvius, remains there in southern Italy and other places as well, and pieced together using Roman ruins what probably the villa looked like of this incredibly wealthy Pompeian. And it's gorgeous. It really is. And there's all sorts of art and Greek and Roman art there, and it's tremendous. I saw that the Getty Villa, that's the Getty Villa. It's just above Santa Monica. That the entrance to it, at least, was in flames. And I'll show you the video. So I saw this and I thought, well, it's gone, right? It's gone. So here we play the video. So basically, what I'll just start it again real quick if I can. Let's see, it's gonna a little bit off, but video shows flames. Video shows flames and smoke outside the Getty Villa Art Museum in LA. And then it continues to tell how beautiful the collection is. So that's all accurate. Apparently, the villa was spared. So that's really good news. The villa was spared. So we're pleased for that. Are humans to blame? Human-caused anthropogenic global warming, global burning, ecocide, the sixth great extinction caused by humans. Is that why this happened? Well, according to the Yale magazine that addresses the ecology, yes. Wildfires in Southern California burned tens of thousands of acres, destroying thousands of buildings, killed at least 10 people. We saw that global warming may well have set the stage for the catastrophic blazes. And here's Yale Environment 360. I have relied on this journal before, so you see the image. And let's just go through this real quick because I think it is instructive. Why? Just why? People, used to hear on Stephanie Miller, she had this guy Chris on all the time, her kind of flunky. He would always say, oh, you can't ever take one event and claim it's because of global warming. Well, you can't say with absolute certitude, but what you can say is these types of events are far more likely to happen as a result of what we are doing to our planet. And the specific implications of the human-caused phenomenon, I call it global burning, ecocide, climate holocaust. The specific implications strongly suggest that this latest Holocaust in LA is a result of human activity. So more erratic rainfall. This is really important. So you get swings between wet and dry. And I was like, well, why would more wet? Like the first thing I said is I was like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I get why more dry means more fires, but why would more wet? And the answer is very obvious once you read this, which I had to read because I'm not good at deciphering mysteries. The weather whiplash is ramping up the risk. How does it do that? Well, last year in LA, and I think in California in general, we saw record precipitation. There was a tremendous amount of snow in the Sierras, for example, which fueled the growth of grasses and shrubs. So lots of vegetation on the ground. But then this year, none, very little, virtually none. So that vegetation dries up, becomes desiccated, withered, but it's still carbon-based life or former life, and that makes it flammable. So there's more vegetation, and because of the rain, and now because of the dry, it's even more flammable. So it seems pretty obvious, right? Once you read that, it's, oh yeah, okay, now I get it. Now I understand. Making matters worse, unusually strong Santa Ana winds. I was like, well, are the winds? And I thought, well, maybe it is because of the global warming too, because the ocean is warmer and hotter. More warm temperatures over the ocean may lead to stronger winds. That is true. But apparently that's not the cause. The Santa Ana winds bring hot, dry air from the mountains out to sea. So apparently that wouldn't be driven by warmer surface temperatures on the ocean. But according to the article, it's not, right? The strong winds aren't likely secondary to human-caused global warming. But now is the time of year when the winds are particularly strong. Normally, this is no longer fire season. By now, there's rain, and even with the stronger winds, which do obviously make fires, catastrophic fires, far more likely, the strong winds. But normally by January or late December, you've got rain, it's rainy season, it's cooler, So even with winds, you're less likely to get a fire. But here, the fire season is longer and longer. It's drier for longer when it's dry. And that's the key climate change connection to the Southern California fires.